And now's a good time to bring in the peerless, the ageless, the effortless Rod Black. And you know, you've been on this show enough, Roderick, to know what we do here. It's the View. It's the View for sports fans. You're Whoopi. I'm Joey. And we talk about the day's events. So how do you feel about the NFL changing the kickoff rule to the XFL style?
I will tell you, as like you, I am a big CFL fan, of course, and I like the kickbacks on the CFL. I like the fact that there's excitement. I can understand the safety part the last couple of years. I'm not so sure this is entirely the best thing that can happen, but I can't tell you the game is called what? Football, and the only time they kick is either a punt or a field goal. Maybe there's a misnomer there, but I do think there's a lot to it. I'd like to see how it's going to play out. Let's put it this way. A lot of people did not see the XFL or any other of the other leagues, did not watch, so they wouldn't even know what this rule is about. But having said all that, I think anything's better than still watching somebody kick the ball through the end zone and then coming back to the 25-yard line. I've never been a fan of that.
I know. They said in the story over 1,000 times that happened in the NFL this year. And it's like, you're a broadcaster like me. Hours of buildup on the pregame show. We've all seen it. And then, boop, we'll be right back.
And by the way,
Rod, it was terrible.
And I understand player safety. Trust me, I understand that. However, when you are involved in professional sports, there is an inherent risk that comes with a sport that's built on collisions and tackling and hitting. There is a reason we watch football. There is a reason we don't watch on Sunday afternoons flag football. There's a reason, right? There's a reason the Pro Bowl, a lot of people kind of, okay, I know it's going to the Olympics, but the NFL is full of some of the greatest athletes on the planet. I would love to see returns. I like the halo rule in the CFL on punt returns. And again, you don't want to see anybody get seriously hurt. We've seen that in the past, but there's nothing like the dramatic return of a punt or a kick, the zig, the zag, the teamwork that goes into that. Right now, I don't know about you. I mean, beyond being a gunner in the National Football League and you're going downfield all the time, you never see anybody. I mean, the loneliest guy besides a Maytag repairman is somebody on those special teams because when the ball comes, there's, oh, here we go. Okay, all right. Or it goes through the end. Dude, if they gave me a contract to play on the kickoff return team, I'll take anything because I'm never going to see any play.
Yep. Exactly. By the way, I was searching around for a flag. I found one. I'm throwing one on you. I called the flag football national championships last year for USA football, and we'll
by the way,
so yeah.
Hey, listen, this is not to take away from flag football because I play it. I love the sport, but there's a reason that flag football is not contact football. I love flag football, by the way. I love it, and I bet you did a great job on that. And so I'm kind of sucking up to you now.
We're having fun here. That's what we do. So I want to flip gears here to college basketball and the Raptors, if we may.
I know where you're going. You want to make a bet?
You might not. We'll see. No. Bentley writes in from the Queen City. He says, Rod, about 18 years ago, my daughter was in California. I was visiting her. We were there in March. It was madness. The TV had nothing else on, all channels. It takes over the whole country. I was trying to explain to a lot of our viewers what's going on here with March Madness, Rod. And with the women now and Caitlin Clark, that was where I'm going. Switching gears to March Madness. So you're a basketball guy, man. It's pretty cool what's going on. And it's actually seeping into Canada, into the conscience of the Canadian sports fan, I sense.
Hey, for the first time ever, and I know we'll probably have a discussion about it because I do have some thoughts on the proliferation of betting that's going on and the big stories that are surrounding gambling in sports, and I'm sure you've talked ad nauseum about it, and we should be talking about it, by the way. But also the beauty of the March Madness is that everybody has a pool. And Rod, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually leading one of the pools. Now, on the CBS Sports pool, I'm very proud of myself. Yes, I'm 56,972nd right now. But in my own pool, a bracketed pool with I think about 100 people, I'm actually leading. I took Yale early on because I actually broadcast one of their games early in the season. But I love Madness. I love March Madness. I think it was Bentley who wrote in. There's nothing, especially for the Canadian basketball fans, get a chance to go down to a regional. Even before Final Four. Final Four is really hard to get to and expensive. Go see a regional. You'll be there all day. There's nothing like it. It's great purity in sport, because what I love about NCAA sports, and I've had 2 kids in my family who are NCAA athletes, is that they make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, including coaches, including refs, but also players. And it's so hard to predict, but there's nothing like the vibe. Like, I know everybody talks about the NBA and going to an arena and, it's so cool. There's a big party going on. Go to an NCAA game and listen to the band. Listen to the students when they chant, "Start the bus." It's all your fault. There's nothing like March Madness.
No. Hey, we move fast here. David, number 1 in Winnipeg, writes in. He says, "Good morning, Rod and Rod. How about that Jets-Oilers game? That was playoff hockey last night, and I love it. Hopefully the Jets can play like that every game from here on out." The Oilers won it 4-3 in overtime. Where I'm going next is your take on the playoff format. I'm hearing it a ton in the press boxes here in Sunrise and Tampa that we need to change it. It needs to go from 1 to 8, not the wild card format, because the points are all screwed up and good teams are going to lose out in round 1. Well, Serena said it. She's like, in the 80s, nobody bitched in the Smythe division. The Oilers were bouncing the Jets and Flames in round 1. We didn't hear this. It's not fair. Do you think it needs to change?
Well, we did say that in Winnipeg because I was living there, and there's this guy. What's his name there? But he had a yellow little helmet there, or whatever. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, if it wasn't for Gretz,
a media guy, or
if it wasn't for Gretz, I still maintain the Jets might have made the playoffs a few more years, and they never would have left in the first place, but that's another story. I hate the format. Go back. I think, Rod, you and I talked about it 2 years ago. I've never liked this regional format. I know some people say, it still works out the best on best. I disagree. 1 to 8 is logical. 1 to 8 is logical. And by the way, unlike those years when they said nobody bitched about it, that was still regional because you were playing within the divisions, within the Smythe, within the Norris. You were still playing. And so there was a sameness to it. I defy anybody that you're going to get a sameness every year. 1 to 8 will change things. It should be best against should be an incentive for finishing first. Playing for all those points late in the season to get home ice. Now, did it help some teams last year? No, but again, if you look at who they were playing, and I know some analytical dude's going to say, "Hey, well, here's one." No. 1 versus 8, it should work that way in my mind, in every sport.
Well, now you really got me thinking. And that's funny you say, yes, we did complain in Winnipeg. We didn't have Twitter then, so I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't see it.
We did, yeah.
That's
the thing then. Yeah, well, everybody can bitch now because everybody's a broadcaster, right? Everybody has their own little radio, TV, network, every little newspaper, so everybody can do that, which is fine. The world is full of free speech, but it doesn't mean it's right speech.
There you go. Put it on his tombstone. Make a meme out of it. Well, we've covered NFL kickoff change, March Madness, and NHL playoff format. The floor is yours for 3 minutes. What do you got? What's keeping you busy these days? What's keeping you up?
Well, I'm going to be in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan next week for the Kinsman
They're
dinner.
bringing you back?
I do that.
Nice.
Well, one of these years I'm going to get it right. I think they're trying to get you, but you're looking. You got palm trees behind you, so I have to fill in. I'm the second best Rod. Can I say that? That sounds like something from That sounds like from Pornhub. Anyway, so I'm going to be there with Eric Gagne and Duncan Keith and Chris Pronger. So looking forward to that, which means I will not make my flight.
Wow.
It'll be a late night, of course, thanks to the Kinsman Club. Look forward to seeing people in the Jaw. Busy with that. Busy with these guys, the Toronto Maple Leafs. baseball team. I'm actually an owner now, Rod. I'm part of the ownership group, Intercounty Baseball out here. But the biggest thing that I think really is occupying my space today, and we've had a conversation about this, and I know I'm not going to get on a high horse, that right now sports has to be very careful. We've talked before about the integrity of sport. We're seeing it really in full play this week, especially. Hey, listen, I'm all for legal gambling. I'm sure your sponsors are. You have sponsors. I'm, would again work for North Star Bets for a bit, but I do have a hard time right now that we have got to be very careful with the proliferation of gambling out there, especially how it reflects on sports with the John T. Parker situation, which is going to get, I think, really ugly as more comes out. Again, a person is presumed innocent until guilty, but there's a lot of smoke here and there could be fire. And I would tell you also, the Shohei Ohtani, people are just going, okay, well, it's the interpreter. Let's be careful. Let's find out exactly what this all is about, because sports have been taken down from this pernicious activity in the past. We can't have this happen, and we've got to be very, very careful. I think this is a really good wake-up call this week. And here we talk about betting and gambling and picks and odds and all of that. That's our life now. That ain't going away. But we have to be very careful. And I would say my suggestion, as the NCAA is looking at it, is they really have to stop putting so many prop bets up, or control prop betting, because that, to me, is where a lot of these problems lie. And that's it, Rod. That's it for me today. I can't wait to get to the Jaw. When am I going to see you in person?
I have no idea, but I'm wondering if you swallowed a dictionary this morning. Proliferation?
Yeah.
Some word I could use.
Right.
Cardissuspicious?
Hey, buddy. You know what? If I'm Scrabble, I'm winning. Look at the surreptitious, salacious part of
right.
online sports betting.
Spicy.
Anyway, whatever. Hey, listen, whatever. We got to be very careful right now. We're walking a very fine tightrope. I'm sure a lot of your viewers and listeners. There are way too many ads in my mind. Way too many ads. People are putting too much on this. It's all about the sport. It should be about games, and that's why our kids get inspired to play. And Rod, I'm coming down. You got a bedroom? Because I'm coming down to Florida in the next few weeks.
I was just gonna say, when we're gonna see each other face to face is the next time you come to Florida, because I'll be here.
I love you.
We gotta run. Thanks, Rod. Love you too, pal.
Love you.
He's the best. Rod Black, the iconic Rod Black, the first ever television voice of the Toronto Raptors. It's been all downhill since he left.